Hi everyone. I am so sorry. I'm a little bit late. This is just getting used to the technology. How are we doing today? Thank you so much for taking the time to join me here tonight. And I am so excited to be here. So we're going to jump right in. If this is your first time here, my name is Dr. Olubumi Balaji. I'm a board certified internal medicine physician, and I'm passionate about helping people understand their health before diseases take over. On this channel, we talk about prevention, lifestyle medicine, metabolic health, and how small daily choices shape long term outcomes. And so, these conversations they're honest, they're educational, and they're meant to empower you and not overwhelm you. So, if you care about living well, aging strong, and staying out of the hospital as much as possible, you are in the right place. Let's get started. Why are so many people sick today? That's the big question. Let me ask you a question or another question. Have you noticed that almost everyone you know is on one kind of medication or the other? We're talking about blood pressure pills, diabetes medications, cholesterol drugs, weight loss injections, sleep aid, anxiety medications. And this isn't just the older adults anymore. We're seeing this in people in their 30s, even in their 20s. This is all around us. So today, I want to talk about something many people are wondering about. Why are so many people sick today? Not just sick suddenly, but chronically sick. And more importantly, what can we do about it? I'm not here to scare you, I'm here to educate you and empower you. Today, we'll talk about why diabetes, obesity, and high cholesterol are increasing so rapidly, the role of processed foods, inactivity, stress, and poor sleep. We're going to talk about genetic versus lifestyle and what really matters most. And one key truth that you can change your health. So we're going to begin. Let's talk about chronic diseases everywhere. We are living in an era of chronic diseases. Our ancestors never had to deal with what we are dealing with today. Obesity is common, type 2 diabetes is common, high blood pressure is common, high cholesterol is common. And these conditions don't usually appear overnight. They develop quietly, slowly, over the years, and most of the chronic diseases they begin with insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalances, metabolic dysfunction. And so by the time the lab results are abnormal, the process has often been happening for 10 to 20 years. So we're going to talk more. Our food environment, which is one of the reasons why people develop chronic illnesses today. Food does matter, and more often than most people realize, food is medicine. Food can cause diseases. The type of food you're feeding your body does matter. And so today we are surrounded by highly processed foods, hidden sugars, refined carbohydrates, foods designed to be addictive. Some of us even believe that eating these foods means we're successful and living a good life. But that is not the case. Now, this is not to blame anyone, but this is to create an awareness for us to understand the type of food that we're feeding our bodies with matters. Now, many people are also eating very quickly during their meals without paying attention to what they're eating, without properly chewing their foods to ensure that they're full. We are also eating late at night. Some people are skipping meals and living on snacks and consuming calories but without nutrients. Modern food is often designed for convenience and not for long term health. They are also designed for profit for people who making them. And so the body always responds to what it is repeatedly given. What else can we talk about? Inactivity and muscle loss, how this impacts our health. If I ask us how many of us monitor how many steps we take per day, we will give many reasons why we are not able to exercise. Guess what? Most people sit all day during their job, they drive everywhere, work at the desk, and we relax by sitting even more. But the human body was designed to move. Let's think about it. Our forefathers who did farming and hunting animals for food, they moved and they did not battle the kind of diseases we are battling today in this era. Again, this was because they moved. Most people play, muscles rather, play a major role in how our bodies regulate and control sugar, insulin sensitivity, metabolic health, and aging well. Now, when we don't move, the body becomes less efficient at managing energy. Inactivity quietly accelerates diseases also. Thank you. I see somebody says I pay close attention to my daily steps. Great. Now, what else is very important that we don't talk about a lot? Stress and sleep. And these two factors are often overlooked in health today. But guess what? Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated. That's our stress hormone. And high cortisol raises blood sugar, promotes weight gain, disrupts hormones, worsens inflammation, and of thereby causing illnesses and diseases. Sleep is not optional. Sleep is necessary. Sleep is when the body repairs. Sleep is when the body resets our hormones, balances appetite signals, restores metabolic function. You cannot out diet poor sleep. Neither can you out exercise chronic stress. So, living in a high stress environment coupled with poor sleep or either is a recipe for illnesses and diseases. Wow. I would answer our questions at the end of the session. So, we're going to talk again about genetics versus lifestyle. Now, I often hear it runs in my family. And yes, genetics matters. We're not going to downplay the role of genetics. But the truth is that genetics increases the risk for diseases, right? But lifestyle determines the outcome. Genetics increases the risk, but lifestyle determines the outcome. So if you're going to develop high blood pressure and diabetes, your lifestyle plays a role in it. Genetics may load the gun, but lifestyles pulls the trigger. Your daily habits influences which genes are expressed. So how we live our lives, what we eat, how active we are determines which genes are expressed. And this means change is possible. So the fact that a chronic condition runs in your family doesn't mean you will develop same. So be educated and stop the excuses that make you to be vulnerable. So what are we talking about tonight? What are the teaching points? Now, this is the most important part of today's message. Diseases are usually a slow process, okay? And prevention works the same way. Now, diseases develops one habit at a time. Guess what? Health is rebuilt one choice at a time. You don't need perfection. You do all that you need is consistency. I tell my patients if you're not going to be consistent, then don't bother. You didn't get here overnight. All these conditions, high cholesterol, diabetes, high blood pressure, it did not develop overnight. And so you don't have to fix everything overnight. Now, if this conversation resonated with you, I want you to remember this. Your health is not random, and it is not too late. Small changes done consistently can completely change your future. If you found value here, please, tonight, I want you to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone you care about. Join me here every week as we continue these honest conversations about prevention, wellness, and living strong for the long term. Until next time, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I do appreciate your time. And my goal is that we can together stay healthy and continue to make those lifestyle changes one at a time. So I'm going to I have some questions here in the chat that I'd like to address. So I see here somebody said, I do play close attention to my steps daily, which is great, because we want to keep moving. We want to keep moving. And if you're middle age and you're in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, also doing something called resistance training exercises also will actually help you build your muscles, burn fat efficiently, and also improve your longevity. I see here one of our mommies asked a question: how many steps do I need to take per day? Now, there are so many school of thoughts. There are some people say, school of thought, 10,000 steps a day. But honestly, what I would say is to keep moving. Every opportunity that you have, if you have a car, park your car, um, the furthest to where you're going, in maybe in the car park, and walk. If you can take the steps, instead of taking the elevator, do that. Every opportunity that you can get to move, even inside the house. You can go back and forth, back and forth. If you're a parent and you have kids, instead of calling your kids all the time to say, hey, go get me this, oh, go get me that, we can get up ourselves, to get those things so we can get moving. All right, thank you so much, everyone. I think that's about it here. And I hope that these conversations, kind of like spark some thoughts, helps us to understand that the fact that certain diseases and illnesses runs in our families does not mean that we will develop them. Also, for us, to be able to pay attention to our lifestyle, basically, what we eat, how we eat, when we eat, how active we are, the type of foods that we're eating. So we're going to be talking more about all of those things in the next upcoming couple of weeks. We're going to dig, dig deeper, dive deeper into certain topics. And again, this is to empower us. One of the things that kind of bothers me the most is when I see people have to suffer through illnesses and then the complications and then die, from those complications. Thank you so much again, and stay well, stay warm. Have a wonderful evening.